Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be checking out a bunch of flight sim hardware. Things are starting to normalize, emphasizing that word, but starting to normalize, and I've also gone through and done some digging and found a bunch of custom things that you guys might be interested in, and I thought this would be a fun way to share different ways of expanding your flight sim setup.
If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkill's tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below.
All right, so first off, guys, I know this isn't a tutorial or a review of the 737. I'm still battling the sickness. My family and I came down with. For those of you who missed it, we got influenza A and strep throat at the same freaking time last week. That's why I've been so radio silent. So I'm still trying to battle through it, and I can't talk for very long, which probably make a lot of you guys happy because I tend to jabber. But anyway, I've still been working, still trying to find cool content for you guys. And one of the things that, I've been messing around with is I'm always looking for new hardware and new tech and things to show on the channel that I think is really cool. I've got quite a few things that I want to look at today and share with you guys, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy. So we're going to start out today. We're going to be taking a look at Etsy. Honestly, I was never really big into Etsy. It was my wife who's always been really into it. And, I got to thinking about it. Etsy is a website. It's all, from my understanding, it's all custom stuff, right? People making things out of their homes and things like that and wanting to sell is my understanding of the bulk of how it works, right? And some of the stuff, I started looking at flight simulation, and there's some really neat things in here. And I'm only sharing a real small handful of some of the stuff I found, but I thought that I would steer you guys this direction and see if you guys are interested in some of these things. So what we're going to start out with here is this Stream Deck desk mount. Okay, I think this is really slick here. If you guys take a look at this, really neat. There we go. And the Stream Deck, as you guys know, we've talked about it a couple times on the channel, it's really becoming more and more popular in simulation in general. Racing sims, truck sims, doesn't really matter. But this mounting system is absolutely slick. Look at this. I think here, this is probably a better picture. There we go. So it just mounts onto the desk like this, has these nice, really slick control arms for it, where you can adjust it and things like that. The price, $43.99, that's really not bad when you look at all the customization you can do with it. I'm definitely going to be picking one of these up. One of my biggest actually issues of why I don't use the Stream Deck as often as I would like is, honestly, I lost the desk mount to it, or the stand, I should say, so it lays flat and it's kind of a pain in the butt. But this is a much better, much nicer way of laying this out. And I'm going to have a link to all of these things in the description. It's going to be down at the very, very bottom, guys. So if you're interested, make sure you expand the video notes, hit the show more, and it's going to be all the way down at the bottom because there's going to be so many of these links. And as you can see, or you guys can't see it, but the web addresses are actually very, very long. So anyway, make sure you guys watch for this stuff down in the description. But this is a really, really cool setup. And again, if you guys are interested in the Stream Deck, I highly recommend checking one out on Amazon. Just be careful because there's the Stream Deck, there's the 40 series, and then there's the XL, which has even more buttons to it. But anyway, so this is just a really neat addition, and I think could really enhance the simulation experience, having this on your desk. There's a couple really neat screenshots down here where you can see some people have used it here. Let's see if I can expand that. There we go. There's another example of how this is being used. Wow, that's a really dirty thrustmaster. Anyway, you guys can see, just sort of give you some ideas and some things to think about on how you can incorporate things like this into your flight sim. And what's really cool is with Microsoft Flight Simulator especially is that you're really seeing a heck of a lot more use with the Stream Deck profiles and all the different aircraft. And it's very easy to switch between them as you jump from aircraft to aircraft. And a lot of them can control the autopilots, they can control your lights, your landing gears, all that good stuff. So this is another one of those ones that's extremely handy if you're someone who's limited on desk space and need something small but that's very functional. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So let's go ahead and keep on moving here. The next one I like, this one, it looks a little, it looks much more simple, but this is your trim axis. So you're going to have your aileron trim, your rudder trim, and your elevator trim. And this is another one. I'm not quite sure what you would use the switches for. I mean, well, actually, I guess you could use them for whatever you want, really. But what I really enjoy about this idea is, especially for flying like the old warbirds, and where I could see this being really cool is my understanding, you know, after reading about it. Now, this one's a little bit on the pricey side for what it is, but I think I'd still absolutely enjoy it. And I think I'm still going to grab this as well, because where I could see this is like, especially in DCS World, for all the rudder axis, for all the warbirds, you know, your P-51s, your P-47s, etc., right? All those old warbird aircraft where you're constantly having to trim each one individually. You know, it makes that quite a bit easier and will free up quite a bit of controls on your HOTAS for other things. You know, such as gun sights and things like that, if that's your thing. But anyway, just another really cool trim box that I didn't even know existed. And you can see the clamping system is very, very simple. Just a real quick tension grip there, clamps on your desk. It's got a large opening, so it should fit just about anybody's desk there. I think that's a better picture there. There we go. Yeah, that's a much better picture of that. So again, very simple to set up. Go well with a lot of the other control surfaces that we already have available. So let's keep moving forward here. The next one, this is going to be more for DCS World, but will definitely apply to anyone else. Sorry about the break there, had to cough. So again, now this one I'm going to say is definitely on the expensive side. I don't know that I would go this route, but to each their own. And I'm going to show you guys why I wouldn't necessarily go this route, because I have something better later on towards the end of the video. But this does definitely offer a lot. You have everything from your gen switches, and the nice thing about this is that you could definitely map these to whatever you wanted. Now, based on how this design is, it would indicate that each switch position would be something that would be registered. So for DCS World, this is actually really slick. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, a box just like this, it would definitely behoove you to take a look at that. But got a couple other options that we're going to check out here. Check out the upfront controller. Watch this. Here's another one. Now this one, definitely on the expensive side, but cool. So you've got two different options here. You have one that has just the, or has all the displays, and all the displays are functioning. Now you do have to make sure to read all your descriptions down here, because it does break down that, you know, you have to use DCS BIOS and you have to understand how to set that up. Now DCS BIOS I've messed with in the past. It's not particularly hard. It just, you do have to make sure that you read up carefully, but let's show you guys another example. Here's one that doesn't have the LCD screens, and it's just push, and as the comments do state, it would be great for VR users. Now let's see here. VR only, here we go, no display. Okay, so full display is $520. Now that one I'm gonna say that's a little pricey for me. I don't know that I would go that route. The $419 for this, I'm not sure. And here, I'm going to show you guys another example that's a little bit cheaper, but I want you guys to pay attention to the quality. So it's really going to be depending on, again, what you're looking for. Now, if you're into VR only and you fly in VR, this next one may work out really nicely. If we swing over here, here's basically the same build. If you look at the buttons we got, okay, here's your option buttons, your modes, your keypad entries, your volumes for your radios, your brightness panels. Now, this one here only has, looks like your volume, your heading. So it's missing a few of the controls here. We got radar, course. Oh, your heading switches. Okay. These are going to be all of your modes that we saw on the bottom, your autopilot modes, beacon, TACAN, all that good stuff, ILS, your keypads, your OSB buttons or option display buttons, and your comms. So it's definitely got all the necessities. The brightness panels, things like that. I mean, you would probably mess with the brightness, which are going to be these guys up here. You're probably going to mess with those beforehand, before takeoff, something like that. Now, this does have a bit more. It really does. But when you look at the price difference for the functionality for here and here, basically, you're getting an almost another $300. Now, this is probably going to be just custom quick push button. It doesn't say... Yeah, it doesn't say anything about needing DCS BIOS or anything like that. So it'd be just a very simple controller. Now... what I don't see with this one particularly is a mount that comes with. Let's see here. Oh, front mount bracket option. There you go, right there. It's right there. So let's see. What do we got? Standard. Oh, and see here. This is very reasonable. I think I would buy this. $163 for the desk mount. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. It really is. And honestly, this picture is a much better picture than this one here. This one here, it doesn't look as nice for some reason as it does right here. I think this is very well laid out. That's very nice. I think I would go with black screws personally, or paint them black, but you know, to each their own. But nothing crazy there. But that is a really slick, that's a pretty good price for all the functionality that would offer. That's a big deal. I actually think I'm going to pick that up too. So this one I'm going to grab, and I think so far this I'm going to grab, and the Stream Deck mount I'm definitely going to grab so far. So let's keep going. Now on this next one, I already have it. The Class Echo. This is awesome. Now I will say, okay, it shows $80 here. You need to make sure that you read the, read all of this very, very carefully, because there are other parts that you have to buy in order to make all of this work. You have to go on Amazon. They're very specific. Let's see. Where is it? There we go. I think here. I gotta find it. There is a parts list here. Oh, extra starts need to be purchased. Assembly is easy. Total cost, including listing. There we go. Be $140 to $170 US. That is true. So then just read through everything else. Like here, tells you where to go. And you can piece it all together. So it's about $170. Let's put it on the high end. Let's just call it 200. Let's call it 200. Just because prices change, shipping, all that good jazz. $200 US. Let's call that and just be safe. But I have one of these. It took me about 20 minutes of following the YouTube video to assemble it. It was absolutely great. I love this thing. It works fantastic with multiple aircraft. It's even the most recent firmware update integrated it with the A32NX, and it integrates beautifully. It's extremely convenient. Here you can see it sitting on top of the Honeycomb Alpha. And it is, you guys can sort of see how small it is. It is small, and it works really, really well. It is awesome. I use this on every single flight, and this is where I get all my wind information from. I use this constantly for things like parking brake and things like that, especially when I'm not doing my full setup, meaning I don't have my Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo set up. It is a really, really nice tool to have, and it integrates with so many things. Adjusting your comms and your nav frequencies. Let's see, where was that? There we go. Is smooth as glass with this thing. It really, really is an awesome piece of equipment. And I can't stress it enough, guys. Don't let the fact that you have to put some pieces together scare you. It is very, very easy. And Shakeprint has done a very good job. He put out a YouTube video specifically on how to set this all up. As long as you follow that video step by step, it's flawless. He did a very good job. It is very, very thorough. So don't let the fact that you have to purchase other things, you know, scare you off. It tells you how to do it and what to buy. So really, really cool. Highly recommend it. This one is another big one that seems silly, but is another one I'm going to grab that I actually like. And it's just a little grip wheel that goes over your trim wheel on your Honeycomb Bravo if you have it. And it just adds that extra tactile touch to just give you that more finite control of the trim wheel and give you sort of a better feeling of how far the wheel is moving, especially in VR. That's going to make a big difference. And it just feels better. And again, something cheap, you know, $17.99, you know, that's definitely, you know, I think it's well worth that. You know, the 3D printing, I will tell you guys, if you're not familiar with it, it does take a long time. 3D printing is not fast by any means. The material is relatively cheap, but it's a lot of time. Something like this is probably anywhere from 4 to 8 hours of printing, depending on the printer. So it can definitely add up. So, you know, $17.99, yeah, that's absolutely worth it. And I think it's cooler than snot, and I think it would add a lot to the simulator. Next one here, large size 747 throttle and reverser handles for the Honeycomb Bravo. $32. That is pretty freaking awesome. And here you get a comparison of what the default that comes with it, that you can buy, or that comes with the Honeycomb Bravo, to what you get with the update. And that's much nicer. I like those. That's one of the things I think we all at some point have said, is that even though the Honeycomb did a fantastic job, this is not to knock them in any way, shape, or form, what that kit includes is wonderful. And we're going to be talking about the Honeycomb setup here in just a minute. but because they've also come down in price a bit and gotten more reasonable again. You know, having that full size grip on the 747 controls, or even the 737 controls, is going to be really, really nice. And with the release of the 737, this is the perfect time to pick something like this up. So just a thought there. Cessna Citation, CJ4. I know there's a lot of CJ4 pilots again. So we're going to be on the honeycomb thing for, oh, actually, I think it's the last one. I think it might be one more. But here's the really awesome shot. Check this out. Now, it really takes advantage of the full throttle throw there. But look at the size of that throttle axis, or throttle handle, not the axis. It's nice. It's big. It looks like it's got that, you know, you want to grip it with your whole hand kind of feeling to it. And that's another thing that I say, here we go. Here's a shot of from the simulator, it looks like, in comparison to what we're seeing on the Bravo. That is nice and big. And that's another one that I think that I'd like to pick up. I don't fly the CJ4, at least not yet. I've been meaning to and just never get around to it. But I think it could also work in something like the Citation, the Longitude, or not the Citation, but the Longitude, because I do fly the Longitude on occasion. Anyway, another really cool one. So $34.99, and you get the speed brake, you get the flap lever, and the throttle. So it's not just the throttle. All right, moving forward here, check this out. This one I really like. An Autopilot Control Box, and this is everything. Now, I want to make it very clear that the Echo, Class Echo, will do everything that this thing can do. It will control the autopilot, it can control your V speeds, all that good jazz. It can do absolutely everything it can do and more. Okay, it can definitely do more. It will tell you all of your performance and engine readouts and all that good jazz, control your lights, sim rate, you name it. So I want to make sure that's very clear here for a second. But even though I have the Class Echo, I think I'm going to pick this up as well, because this is about offering that real tactile feeling, that control of the very specific autopilot natures, having everything nice and laid out. This is going to give you more immersion. I'm not going to lie. This is going to give you far more immersion than the Class Echo does. The Class Echo gives you extreme convenience and functionality. It has a little bit of everything, like all the things that I previously mentioned, but it doesn't give you immersion. Okay, you're not going to get the immersion of using the Class Echo because everything's controlled from a single screen and a single rotary. Okay, but it's definitely very, very convenient and an awesome tool, where this is going to give you that immersion. Okay, you're going to have this mounted somewhere or sitting on your desk or maybe off to the side somewhere, and you're going to have a very dedicated autopilot panel. Now, if you have the Honeycomb Bravo, you know, this might be something that maybe is not as interesting to you, but it really depends on, again, what you're going for. But this thing is very, very nicely laid out. Look at this, guys. And speaking of the Bravo, there it is on top of it. I didn't see that. Look at that cool mounting clip. That looks, oh, it looks like it's just a tension spring or a tension clamp is all that is. So you have a little bit of everything, sir. So even though you have your modes down here, if you wanted to use the Bravo, and it looks like, oh, look, he put his own labels on. That's kind of cool. I like this better than this because, again, this is going to be set the mode, then use the same rotary. This you get a little bit better, I think. I don't know. I guess it's really give or take. I like the vertical speed knob. You know, having it be like it is in the real aircraft, I really do enjoy that. Having everything else here, your yaw damper, your flight directors, you know, the things that you don't have here, which is nice. So it's really going to be, again, what you're looking for, how much more you're wanting to get out of it. Obviously, again, Honeycomb does a fantastic job, and we're going to get to them in a minute. But I think this is another one that has definitely made its way to my shopping list. I really like this. I really like the layout. I think it's sleek. And I think for $150, I think that's absolutely worth it for the functionality, because you think about all the different aircraft you're going to be able to effectively use this in. It's really going to make a big difference, whether you're general aviation or commercial. It's going to be a really awesome tool to have on your desk. And it's just, again, it's got that aviation look and feel to it. It's going to make it awesome. And I like that the two rotaries have different textures. Or all three of them, really. So you're not going to have to, you know, pay attention to what you're doing in VR. You just got to feel for that. So anyway, something to think about. Next one, this one's just kind of something small, but I thought this was kind of neat. These guys are making custom dust covers. So there was one that caught my attention. This looks like Thrustmaster Warthog, and I think there was another one that was the Thrustmaster that caught my attention. There we go, yeah, that one. So they do custom dust covers if you guys wanted to spaz up your flight sim gear a little bit, you know, get it covered and protected. I thought this would be kind of a fun way to do it. Just something small, you know, trying to help people out. I think this would be another cool one to, you know, mess around with, see what kind of customizations they can do. I mean, look at that's a nice long one for the flight stick extensions. A lot of them just go down to the end of the flight stick. So when it goes all the way down, look at that. That's even rudder pedals down there. Whoa. Okay. The rudder pedal ones, actually, that kind of caught my attention. The TPR rudder pedals that I have, they get dusty as crap. And $15 each, that's pretty awesome. And so here you guys can see all the different fabrics they have. And then, oh, okay. So the prices do go up. It looks like it varies. But you guys are going to have to look and see what all these are. But that's really not bad. I mean, it looks like $30 or $40 was the highest price I saw. Oh, there's a 45. But again, not bad. If you know, if that's something you guys are interested in. I live in Tucson, Arizona, so you know it doesn't matter what we do. Something gets dusty, so the more we can do to protect it, the better. Then moving on to our next idea is what we were talking about earlier: the 737 controls. So again, nice big control handles, really look nice, really stand out on top, and looks like that would be very comfortable to reach down. Now, I don't like that it looks like the thrust reversers are the same. So I think I would probably go with the 747 ones and just use 2 of them rather than the 2 for the 737. But you know, I guess that's kind of a toss up really, because I really like the thrust reversers on the 747 set. But anyway, again, cool stuff. Now I'm going to show you guys 2 things that I've already got. So first thing, I'm going to steer you guys over to WinWing. Now I'm going to tell you right now, WinWing is not cheap. Let's just get that out of the way right now. You're not going to save a lot of money by going to WinWing, but you're going to get some pretty awesome quality. So WinWing, they are really making a name for themselves. They really made a name in DCS World a couple years back here with the F-18 HOTAS. And they get pretty expensive. So, you know, for the full kit on the HOTAS, for example, actually, that's really not bad now. F-18 throttle mount with the Super TARS, $615. Looks like that price dropped. That's kind of interesting. Maybe things are starting to come down. Like I said, things are stabilizing. So, oh, there we go. That's the one I was thinking of. Oh, that's with the Libra stick, though. That's the whole shebang. So, $1,200. So, again, expensive. Okay, I made that very clear. But what aren't too bad are these 2. So you have this one here, which is the takeoff panel, and the combat ready panel. Now I do recommend buying both of these together. I would not buy one without the other. Now I have these. They're sitting on my desk right next to me. And it took me about 10 days from the time I ordered to the time I got them. So it really wasn't bad at all. As you guys see the price, you know, it was right around $300, give or take. I don't remember exactly what it was. Oh, what did I do? I moved things. I didn't mean to move things. There we go. There we go. But these 2 together are fantastic. And every single button position, rotary position is its own key press, whether it be off, on, middle position on the switches, up, down, doesn't matter. Every single one is considered a key press, so it's tracked in any simulator. You could use these in, you know, American Truck Simulator, your racing sims, your flight sims, doesn't matter what kind of, basically it can be registered as just a button box, or you can use their software. And for example, like the takeoff panel, if you use the software that comes with the products, there are profiles that, for example, when you rotate the gear handle while the gear is in transition, the red light will blink, you know, indicating that your gear is in transition until it comes out, and then it'll stop, right? So it's got a bunch of really cool features to it. They're built very, very nicely. They stack well on top of each other. How you mount them, there's a couple different mounting methods that you will see in the instructions when you go that route. They are built very, very well. All the buttons feel very, very nice. The tactile feel is wonderful. And again, I really enjoy the fact that every single button position is its own key press, because that means you can map them at any point. Even these 2 axes, the gray axis there on the left and the right side, they have a center detent, and you can either map them as an axis or you can max them as a 3-button switch, depending on what you're wanting to do with it. So really, really cool stuff. I was really happy with my purchase with these, and I've really begun completely redoing all of my flight controls to now integrate these two panels. I use them in both the combat sims and in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's really, really handy to have. I really recommend these two. And the way I've got mine set up is they're actually sitting right in front of my Thrustmaster Warthog throttle. And I'm actually using my desk clamp for the throttle to hold these down as well, because the two are bolted together, and then I just use these feet at the bottom here to pinch down on the Thrustmaster desk mount, and it works great. So highly, highly recommend these. These are fantastic. To my DCS World pilots, I can't stress it enough, guys, but I will tell you there is not a doubt in my mind that if you only buy one, you're going to be missing the other. You're going to want the other. And I'm sure they were absolutely designed like that. I'm sure it was intentional. So I will say that. Even if the budget only allows for you to buy one, just plan on buying the second one later. Like, you're going to want it. But the two together are wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Anyway, and they're relatively compact. Like I said, if you can house the Thrustmaster throttle on your desk, you can house these guys as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our final step, and that is, I wanted to make sure everyone was aware, in case anyone was still looking, Honeycomb Alpha flight controls and the Bravo flight controls are now available on Amazon again, and have been for a while, but I've been waiting for it to become very steady. But what I'm really enjoying is the price is coming down. Here's a link right here, guys, $500. That puts them at $250 each. Remember, a while back, they went up to $275 each. Here, you can buy both packages for $250. Okay, each. Okay, so $500, but as a package, you get them at the previously listed $250. I will say this, I don't set these up near as much as I used to, because I switch between DCS World and the combat aircraft and helicopters. I switch so frequently, and plus I use my desk for my day job, and you know, it gets hard to move things around so much. So I find myself using my Thrustmaster setup more than anything, but I will not let that take away from the amazing quality that these two controls have. They are wonderful controls. They were wonderfully built. The only thing I will say, again, as being a Tucsonan, that I hate is the honeycomb. And I know it's their trademark. It makes perfect freaking sense. Don't get me wrong. But I will say these get dirty very, very quickly, and they're a pain in the ass to clean. So that's something I wish they had not done. I wish it had just been sort of like maybe like a protruding texture or something like that. Giving that honeycomb look, I don't know, but I will say they're a pain in the butt to clean. But the nice thing about, like, for example, the throttles, they all come with dust covers and things like that. So when you're not using them, you take the controls out, and then they have nice, really, really well made rubber dust covers that go into each one of the slots. So it keeps the throttle nice and clean. And then there are dust covers on their website, or they might even be on Amazon, that you can buy as well, that are really, really slick. So I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that. Now, the one other one I want to check out, let's go ahead and see what Thrustmaster is running these days. $529. So the good news is they are coming down. This was like $650 a couple months ago. So it's nice to see the Thrustmaster Warthog coming back to a reasonable price as well. Anyways, I really just wanted to take a quick moment and share with you guys some of the neat stuff that's coming down the line here, and some different options that you guys can go through to sort of check out different flight sim gear. I highly recommend checking out Etsy. Check out Etsy, check out eBay. Etsy seems to be a really cool place. There's a ton of stuff. A lot of it is a bit on the repetitious side, and there's a lot of sifting. The search engine in Etsy isn't fantastic, but the features and the things that people are designing out there are really, really cool. And I wish that there was a better site just for general, or for flight simulations, that people could post this really cool stuff that they're creating. I think it would be a really awesome site for someone to build. Now, if you guys know of any really cool sites, or really cool, cheaper gear, for your flight simulation experience, without going all the way up to the pro stuff, by all means, make sure you guys comment down below. Let me know, and I'd love to take a look at it. I'm always looking for new gear to review, and finding new ways to expand our simulation experience. So anyway, guys, as always, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give me a like and subscribe. It really does help us YouTubers out. As always, stay safe and healthy. Healthier than me, please. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.